Do you have little scraps of paper tucked away in drawers? Ragged ends of wrapping paper, old magazine clippings, stickers you never quite found a place for? Today I want to show you how those forgotten pieces can become something quietly beautiful. With a simple focus on colour and texture, we can slow down, reuse what we already have, and create something that feels calm and considered. I'm working with a soft pink theme today, so let's gently explore how it all comes together. Start by gathering whatever scraps and odds and ends you have nearby. If you're someone who enjoys crafting, you probably already have a small collection without even realising it. And if not, you can also find little scrap paper bundles and paraphernalia packs. As I look through my papers here, I'm letting the colour guide my choices. These pink toned scraps really stood out to me, so I'm selecting a few that feel similar in softness and warmth. Keeping the tones close like this helps the collage feel harmonious and restful, rather than too loud or busy. I'm also thinking about texture as I go. Some smooth, some slightly rough, some with a bit of pattern. I like to add a touch of nature where I can, so I've picked out a few small dried leaves to bring in an organic, grounded feel. These stickers are ones I've been saving for a while. The colours are gentle and muted, perfect for this palette. I'm also revisiting a few older stickers that came with a diary years ago that I got, ones I never quite got around to using at the time. It feels nice to finally give them a place, and I'm choosing only the soft, pastel pink notes that fit this mood. Next, I'm going to create a simple background for the collage. I want this layer to support the pieces on top, not compete with them, so I'm keeping it very minimal. I'm using just two watercolour shades here, rose and lavender. If you'd like a clean white border, you can add some washi tape around the edges before you begin. I've lightly wet the paper first, then gently dropped in the paint, letting the colours move and blend naturally. The effect is loose and abstract, a little like a warm summer evening sky. With backgrounds like this, it's good to keep the paint fairly wet and light. A large watercolour brush can help you achieve this effect since they hold a lot of water. I'm just using 2 colours, but you could opt for 3, so long as they complement each other and aren't overbearing. Tapping your wet brush over the paper can also yield some nice effects. If you think you've gone a little too dark, you can always add some white, or lift up excess paint with a paper towel or tissue. This is just a background though that will be mostly covered, so you don't need to fret over it. Once you're happy with what you've got, just let the background dry fully before carefully peeling away the tape. Now comes the collage itself. I like to begin by loosely arranging my pieces without sticking anything down straight away, just moving things around and seeing what feels balanced. There's no rush here. It's about responding to the shapes, the colours, and the empty spaces in between. To make things easy and unhurried, I've placed all my little bits and pieces around me, so I can simply pick things up and begin adding them to the page. To start, I like to choose some of the larger pieces first. I'll just lay them down loosely without committing to anything yet. Nothing is fixed at this stage. I'm simply getting a feel for the shapes and where they might want to sit. You can always move things around, layer them, or change your mind as you go. As I place pieces, I'm thinking about balance. Sometimes I'll pair similar colours together to make them feel a little bolder, and other times I'll separate them so everything doesn't blend together too much. I adore this piece of scrap paper. The gentle swirls tie in so nicely with my backdrop, like swirling little clouds in a summer sky. This one has a touch of blue in it, which ties in beautifully with the blue paint underneath. For now, I'll just place it here. I'm not gluing anything yet, I'm just playing and seeing what feels right. I'm noticing how some pieces work nicely together, especially where colours echo what's already in the background. This little printed article gives your eye a rest from all the colour, with its yellow faded look, which also blends beautifully into this floaty scene. Since it's got text on it, I don't want to draw too much attention to it, so I'll have it just peeking out under here. This textured paper is especially lovely, with little fibres running through it, so I don't want to cover it too much. I'll give it some space to breathe. I also really like how some elements extend beyond the painted area into the white of the paper. That contrast helps to keep the collage from feeling too busy. It's always a gentle back and forth of small decisions. This cone-like shape reminds me of a flower bouquet or maybe an ice cream wafer. It's good to take a pause now and then to see how things are coming together. I'm happy so far, but I might flip this rose paper around because it's quite busy in this top corner and the rose is a little lost, whereas on the other side it stands out more, and you can see how the lighter side of this stands out against the darker background, and that's because of the contrast of tone. Similarly, over here I have some bright pink against more pink, so if I flip this, you can see how it works better as those bright hues aren't getting lost in each other. And here's my little cyanotype scrap, which will help lift the blue in the background. Next I'm going to bring in some leaves. They're slightly stronger in colour than the pinks, but because they're small they won't overpower the piece. I like how they can act almost like a frame, guiding the eye towards the rose. Adding this touch of natural green creates a really beautiful contrast. I'm going to trim this part slightly, it feels a little too heavy as it is. Thinning it makes it sit more comfortably with the rest of the collage. Small adjustments like this can make a big difference. I have another delicate piece here and I'm deciding which side feels best, the greener side or the more muted one. I think the softer side works better and I'll let it curl gently into this empty space. Don't be afraid to make trimmings to help your composition. I feel like this strip is just a little too long. I'd like a gap for the leaves, so I'm cutting it just a little. and a 4-leaf clover for good luck. I have this cyanotype print with the leaf shape showing through. It's slightly translucent, which I really love. I'll soften the edges here too, keeping everything feeling gentle and organic rather than too sharp. Next, I'm bringing in some stickers. Just like before, I'm not sticking them down yet. I'll place them loosely and see how they interact with everything else. Once I'm happy with the positioning, I can commit to gluing. I might angle this one slightly, letting it move into the space rather than sit rigidly. There's another sticker here with soft greens and peach tones. I think I'll tuck that in gently so it feels connected rather than separate. I'd also like to leave a little space for a word or a piece of text, so I'm being mindful not to fill every area. You don't need to use everything you've picked out either, but it's okay to change your mind or set pieces aside. I don't have much room left now for these stamp stickers, so I'm going to see if I can fit them in at the bottom here, or if it will be too much. I think that could work. The transparency of these stickers mean they won't be too intrusive. And finally, my old stickers from my diary. I'm just going to select 2 as I think the collage is quite well fleshed out now and I don't want to overdo it. Of course, collages can be as busy as you like, but I'm trying to keep an airy, light feel to this one. So one here, and one here. This one has some text on it, but it's very subtle, so it works for me. I think I'm happy with the overall balance now. I'll make a few final adjustments, just nudging things slightly, and then I'll begin sticking everything down. And once that's done, I'll finish by adding a final piece of text to complete the collage. Once I'm happy with the layout, I'll start sticking everything down one piece at a time, letting some elements overlap others. The textures and soft pink tones gradually come together, creating something gentle, tactile, and quietly expressive. If this is something you enjoy, you will probably like my other collage videos. I'll link one here and put them both in the description below. One is about creating a collage from pages from a book, and the other shows how to create art and poetry together in a wonderful collage piece. When using glue, be careful of tearing more delicate papers and leaves. In some instances, it's safer to apply the glue to the background paper instead of the object itself. If you're using liquid PVA glue, you're less likely to encounter this issue, but I'm using a glue stick, so I had to be quite careful. As I'm sticking everything down, this is usually the point where the collage starts to feel settled and intentional. There's something very calming about committing each piece to the page, pressing it into place and watching all the small decisions come together. collaging like this can be such a mindful practice. You're focusing on colour, texture and balance, rather than outcome or perfection. It's also a gentle way to upcycle, giving new life to scraps that might otherwise just be thrown away, and seeing beauty in what's already around you as well. I love how this process encourages you to slow down, work with your hands, and simply be present with what you're creating, one piece at a time. If you'd like to try this yourself, you might begin by choosing just one colour to guide you, or limiting yourself to whatever scraps are already in your home. You could experiment with layering translucent papers, adding a small piece of nature like a pressed leaf, or leaving intentional empty space so the collage can breathe. Try arranging everything without glue first, and only sticking pieces down once it feels balanced. There's no right or wrong way to do it with most of the things I show you, just small thoughtful choices that reflect what feels calm and comforting to you in that moment. To finish off, I'm using my label marker to create just 2 words that I think nicely sum up this collage. It's black but small, so it works well to draw your eye but not overpower the overall artwork. And this is the finished piece. What I love most about this process is how calming it feels, taking things that might otherwise be thrown away and giving them a second life. It's a small act of upcycling, but also a way to slow down, notice colour and create without pressure. I hope this inspires you to look at your own scraps and cutaways a little differently, and to enjoy the simple pleasure of making something beautiful from what you already have. If this inspired you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you try a collage like this, tell me what colours you chose. Thank you for spending this quiet creative time with me.